right. Here we go. We're here again. Everything Under the Sun podcast with me, of course, Mo Jackson. I'm glad to be here with my co-host. Are we co-host or are we just host? Man, with us, we're here.
We're here having fun. That record together.
Of course. Get through these intros so we can get this episode kicked off. Of course, we got entrepreneur extraordinaire B. Gibson in the building.
Thank you.
Listen, our last podcast, our last episode is not out yet, but when y'all see that and see how Brandon kicked Rocky B ass last week,
you see
that's
that's
crazy.
No, it was barely a scratch.
Crazy.
I am not an advocate of domestic violence.
I mean, he had to change his shoes. That he no.
This is not the climate. This is not the climate to advocate for domestic violence. Thank you.
But no, it was good. It was a dope episode. I just watched it today. It was dope. But of course, we got Rocky B in the building. Mm-hmm. She is the head of this, even though she don't want to say that. She's the superstar here.
Journalist supreme, media personality.
Not at
Rocky
all.
B.
Award winner.
She got to do a show with Trina coming up soon.
Yes.
Or something like that. See?
No, I'm just hosting, so I never get to. I rarely get to meet the artist.
Right.
Oh,
right.
really?
I come in, I get the crowd hype and energetic, and then I introduce the artist. Yeah.
No, it's not really though. I mean, man, you come, you do what you got paid to
if
do,
you wanna
get paid.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she want to meet Trina.
If I say if I'm like,
true.
hey, I want to meet her, then like the last time I hosted, I met Boosie, and he was, like I get first dibs on meeting the artist, I guess. But I mean, if they don't want to talk to people, then I'm part of that people they don't want to talk to.
Okay, cool.
But today is a very, very special day. It's so fitting for today that we have the very lovely and beautiful Safa Robinson in the building. Safa is Rochester's own. She is a defense and entertainment attorney, correct?
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Oh, good. See, I got it right. See, only one time.
I heard Diddy called her, but she was like,
ain't got time
I don't
to
like
talk
baby
to you.
oil. I'm already biased. So
This is a slippery situation, right? You might want
But
It's a real
Safa's
slippery
been
situation.
on-
real slippery situation here.
So I turn on, I'm on YouTube and I'm following the Diddy trial.
Right.
And I turn on, what is it? Law and
Law and Crime.
Law and Crime.
Yeah.
And I turn on the TV and they got how they can do the split screen of three
Yeah.
people.
Right.
I see Safa on the fucking screen. I'm like, oh shit. Safa's on there reporting the
Big
Diddy
time.
case and all that. It was dope.
Big
I was like,
time,
oh
big
shit.
time.
So I inboxed her. I sent her the little screenshot of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You look like a fan.
It was
Look
dope.
at
It was
so
dope.
cute.
It was.
Listen,
I'm a fan
know her.
I'm a fan of everybody Rochester that's doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I always reach out to people and
Right.
say, I like what you're doing, whether it's a kid or an adult. But we are very, very, very pleased and happy to have you bless our podcast today. And
Thanks
I know
for
it's going to
having
be a good episode
Yes.
because she's a defense and entertainment attorney, and we got a lot to talk about.
I didn't know the entertainment part, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, that's
it
dope.
really
That's
fits.
dope. So-
Yeah,
so
get a
you
real
get
expert and not Brandon's bullshit.
Oh, she's mad.
I'm
She's
starting
mad.
already. I
She's
know.
mad. She's salty from last week.
I'm
shooting
extra
shots.
salty.
Listen, I understand, man. I understand, man.
Sazon.
Trust me, I understand, man. People may deal with loss differently. If I was a loser, I may act that way too. But thankfully, I'm so much of a winner. I don't know.
I love it. So jumping into this thing, when the Diddy verdict came down, I was like, all right, cool. We do our podcast. We're gonna talk about it, and then I'm like, oh shit, maybe Safa will be in town because I've seen you been everywhere, everywhere, chilling and all that. So I'm like, let me hit her and see if she's in town and see if she'll bless us on the podcast. So she came through. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Woo, so dope.
For those that don't know, this is a big deal. Yeah. It's dope. And I could see it already. Beautiful I don't want to say these. Defense attorney that's going to be representing stars and stuff, getting them out of jail when they done did the shit. But it's going to be dope. She going, you know what I'm saying? I could see it already. I like to envision stuff, but good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Going for it. So Diddy.
Did he do it or did he?
Did he, right. He did it. He definitely did it. But the verdict came down, and he is not guilty on 3 of the 5 charges, right? Mm-hmm. The charges that he is not guilty on were, I'll kick it to you.
So they found him not guilty of racketeering conspiracy. They found him not guilty of sex trafficking, Jane Doe. And they also found him not guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie Ventura.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what he did get found guilty of was
transportation to engage in prostitution, 2 counts.
2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution.
Right.
Okay, I'll start with what my gripe is with the whole thing. Right?
Okay, go ahead.
I felt like, okay, first I'll start with am I okay with the verdict, right? And I gotta say yes. Go ahead. You have something?
No, I just wanted her to break down like what the heck does that mean?
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, let's do that. I'm
people
sorry.
don't know like what
Yeah.
transmission what.
Yeah.
So racketeering is the top count, which just means that it carries the heaviest penalty. He was looking at life in prison. So basically racketeering, it's a federal offense, but some states have statutes that are tailored to that particular state, and we saw that in the Young Thug case. Georgia had its own RICO statute, but Diddy was charged under the federal statute, which essentially said that he conspired to commit racketeering acts and that he operated a criminal enterprise to further those criminal acts or criminal activity. So with RICOs, you see a lot of that with like your mafia style, things, or politicians. You got money laundering, you've got bribery, homicides, all kinds of underlying offenses that have to occur within a 10-year period and the conspiracy factor of that as well, for a jury to find you guilty of a federal RICO charge. And there's a lot more to it. It's very complicated and complex. The second 2 charges, which she was found not guilty of, the sex trafficking, essentially through physical threats of force or fraud or coercion, that he sex trafficked these 2 particular women. So you've got Jane Doe, which there's speculation as to who she is, that he sex trafficked her by force, fraud, or coercion. I think, if I remember correctly from the trial, just coercing her, providing her with certain things in a lifestyle, and at times getting physically violent with her to get her to engage in that sexual type of activity. And then with Cassandra Ventura, I think the government's primary point was, when we saw in the 2016 hotel video, was that was a freak off. She attempted to leave that freak off, and he used force, physically beating her, to get her to go back. So there were some other arguments that they made, and obviously we weren't in the courtroom, but that's along the line of what.
So what's confusing is those things were evident. How did they find him not guilty, or were they? Or maybe I'm saying,
I don't think they're evident. I think personally the jury got it right. And to the last 2 charges that I didn't get to touch on, the transportation to engage in prostitution, that was an easy catch-all. Like, all you have to do is transport someone via interstate lines or through interstate commerce in exchange for sexual activity, or providing the money in exchange for sex. That's easy. They're traveling to Turks and Caicos, New York, Miami, all these places. So that was easy. But I don't think that the government had enough proof at all to find him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, especially with the RICO charge. And you don't often see one defendant RICO indictments. You see 5, 20, something along those lines. And so I think what they tried to do was attempted to make a domestically violent, toxic relationship into a racketeering prosecution.
Right.
Now, is Diddy a shitty human being? That's up to you.
Possibly, right.
But, at the end of the day, is he a racketeer? No.
Right. Right.
So what's the difference between that and someone saying like, yo, I got flued out? Right, that's a big thing now. I got flued out. You know what you're expecting when you get flued out, right?
And that's the thing that and it's like we have to be careful too, like in the entertainment industry with rappers, and I'm saying that as rappers, like, cover your ass, because you might fly a chick out to Miami for the weekend, have sex with her, take her to the Chanel store the next day, and now you're looking at the face of a RICO charge for essentially doing just that. It really is just that.
Crazy.
But is that enough to find somebody guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Is that actually racketeering? No. Is that actually sex trafficking? No. Unless you forced and beat. And you see a lot of those sex trafficking charges too with respect to minors. But that's not the case in a situation where you're getting flued out.
Yeah.
Right.
Transportation to engage in prostitution, they'll try to make the argument, but I think it's a bad one.
Yeah.
She's laughing. That's great.
That's crazy. I feel the same way. I was okay with the verdict. I think the jury got it right. When I said those things were evident, it's like, all right, if that, the beating at the hotel, if that was a freak off that she was running from, and then he did that to her, then that's like him forcefully trying to get her to do it. Like I said, they just didn't tie everything together, I guess. But where I was confused with the whole thing was how come, and this is with the actual, not the defense attorneys, but the prosecution. Mm-hmm. How did they get the approval to even run this case with all these holes in it?
So
and that's a legit question, right?
No, it's a very legit question. When it comes to prosecutions, the government has, I don't want to say free reign, but they can, hear about something. And I think the catalyst for Diddy being charged was once Cassie dropped her lawsuit, now everybody's talking about it. Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. They're looking at it and they're like, we can make a RICO out of this, or this is sex trafficking and this isn't transportation to engage in prostitution. But that becomes the danger, is because all a prosecutor really has to do is have in their mind, this is what I think this individual should be charged with. Forget the fact that you may have done it or not, and put the case into grand jury. So they have the discretion, unless you're just caught out there and just happen to get arrested. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they open up an investigation internally or under a John Doe status, and they start gathering evidence. And we saw in Diddy's case, they raided his homes before there were even charges. They got the evidence and they put the case in grand jury, which is a secret proceeding, and it's a prosecutor's tool to bring about charges against an individual. So that's how that happens. Okay,
so when they gathered the evidence that they wanted, they had to take it to Supreme Court, or I'm sorry.
No, so my guess with the Diddy case is that they got a warrant somehow, and you have to have probable cause to get a warrant signed by a judge. And then they got all of the evidence, went through everything to determine what they wanted to use and what they didn't want to use, and they went to what we call grand jury, which is a secret proceeding where people of the public sit and convene and listen to evidence.
So the grand jury says, okay, go ahead with it. If you have enough evidence, go ahead with it. Mm. So now. And I'm going to. So now, when the grand jury says go ahead with it, the prosecution, to me, they had to know that there was evidence of these ladies, themselves in text saying, "I want to do a freak off,"
right?
Or I want him, or I want this certain person. So they're actually like that part. Going into this case, you had to know that the defense would have this information. Right. So it's like
they don't care. They don't care.
But if they go in there and lose, then it's a black eye for the USDA, right?
Yeah. So the United States Attorney's Office, it is a black eye. But how much do they care about that black eye now that you've publicly exposed and publicly shamed this individual for having a freaky sex life?
I got you.
And they do have all of that information, but. With grand jury, they're of course going to put in the evidence that they want the grand jurors to hear. They're not going to put in something that's exculpatory. They want an indictment, so they're not going to put anything in that's favorable to the defendant.
Yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, the win percentage of the USDA is pretty high.
Yeah, so
it's usually like 90-some%, right?
It's about 95% conviction rate for the United States Attorney's Office, and so. Most of the time, clients or people will plead out in federal court, or they are convicted at a trial, which is unfortunate because sometimes the prosecution tries to leverage people with their own life into a plea, which is like unfortunate. Yeah. We're supposed to have a right to a trial, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. So would this be considered a win for Diddy? Is it a win?
Okay. Yeah, it's a win for Diddy for sure.
It's
definitely a win for him.
There's no, it'll be time served? Like, what is he looking at now?
So with the transportation to engage in prostitution counts, he's looking at up to 10 years. Whether the judge, they carry a maximum penalty of 10 years. Whether the judge will run it concurrent or consecutive is to be determined. But the guideline range would be from 0 or hypothetically probation or hypothetically time served. He's been in since last year, up to 10 years. In federal court, they have sentencing guidelines. So a person is categorized and there's a sentencing range for their criminal history category and things like that. So I don't think he has any. And I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me to really know, but he's probably looking at somewhere in the field of probably up to 5 years is what he would get, or where he might range into with his history and a few other things.
Yeah, so I saw them saying, or I heard them saying that he didn't have any priors, so his time would be a lot less than people expect. So my thing is, I'm like, okay, Diddy is a fucked up person. any man that puts his hand on a woman like that is needs to go to jail. But my thing was, I was okay with the verdict because they had so many holes in their prosecution that they don't deserve a win. Like that was bad. It was bad. I like lawyer shows. I like all that kind of stuff, right. And that was bad. It was bad for them. So I think that I was okay with the verdict because it exposed them for not doing their work like they should have been doing.
And they should have charged it appropriately. When you overcharge cases,
yes.
It's like people don't like that.
Yes.
Like if this is a RICO, charge a RICO. If this is sex trafficking, charge that. You don't need to overreach because now everybody's like, look at you lost.
Yeah.
It's bad PR for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. They have one of the most premier United States Attorney's offices, in the country.
Right.
So.
And they just got slapped around like that. That was bad.
I just find it so interesting how the opposing viewpoints or responses from the public, right? Because a lot of people are happy that Diddy, it went well. It went in his favor for the most part. But when we just came off this big Me Too thing, right? This big Me Too movement where people were really chastising men for the abuse they show women, but it seems like a lot of people are actually excited or happy for Diddy. We're making all these jokes like, oh, freak off party next week,
Yeah.
It's like, I just don't know what the public is doing. Like, what are we? Where are we standing, right?
I think what it is, man, I think it's a double-edged sword. And I think the happiness, it has to be taken into a formative context. People aren't happy, man, that Diddy, the abuser, is not guilty. What it is the fact that, as she said, he was overcharged. And when you do things like that, man, they're more happy, man, that a black man didn't get railroaded by the system. Is he an abuser? Fine. Well, that's fine. Two things can be true. You can think he's a disgusting person, but also recognize that he was not a racketeer.
Right.
And the thing that you got to look at, especially as being black in America, is that you have to think about the man that doesn't have his resources to defend himself. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, it was this thing on CNN, and it was lawyers when they were talking about it, and he said the U.S. government is using the RICO now, how they use the Patriot Act to charge people with terrorism after 9/11. They're just throwing them in a blanket out there for almost anything.
Yeah.
And when you do things like charge a man with a one-man RICO and you convict him, you set a dangerous man precedent. And that's what he said. He said, so you have to watch that. So that wasn't really, man, like just a victory for him.
Yeah.
It was for other people.
Yeah.
Because look,
if they would have got that off, it would have been tried.
Yeah,
more.
Right.
It would have been tried.
Hold on, man. We get a one-man RICO on Diddy.
Right.
One-man RICO anybody.
Ain't nobody getting flew out.
And correct me if I'm wrong. This RICO case, it was basically, if he would have got found guilty of being a racketeer, they could have went for all his assets.
Yes.
That he accrued. So, I mean, to say that he committed these crimes to gain from, that's kind of
one
silly.
more thing too.
Like,
when you said, man, when the black guy, like, do they really care?
Yeah.
I had a conspiracy charge, and my charge carried life too, and they didn't have none of the evidence. And when they came in to dismiss it, I will never forget. I walked in the courtroom. It's a Friday. They all sitting there laughing and chilling. The DA is sitting in the jury booth. She's like, oh, my back hurts. I don't even want to come up. They're like, it's dismissed. And they all just laughed and stood there. Because at the end of the day, they go through all these proceedings, bro. They got paid every single hour they were there, man, they got paid.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Every single hour they were there, man, they got paid. So at the end of the day,
that,
if they get it wrong, it's no.
Right.
It's no, oh man, you got that wrong.
It's not them. It's not their family.
Yeah,
it's not
man,
their
like
brother
they
or
don't,
sister
like,
or
they can
them.
come ruin your life with the charge, do all that. At the end of the day, they got paid every single time. They got paid every single time. If they get it wrong, they may not get a shot at the next big case, whatever. They're not going to get fired. None of that. They tried, they swung, they missed. So that black eye, that's just mascara on them. They're going to wipe it off and go try the next situation.
Yeah.
Or that's what they do.
That's what they was making a big riff about. They had six prosecuting attorneys. and they were all getting paid basically off taxpayers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah. And they get paid salaried, so they're not getting paid anymore just for doing the case.
Okay.
But it is through taxpayer dollars and funding.
Yeah, they don't care. Like, it came out of your pocket.
Six of them, though, that are supposed to be the best, right, in New York. Is that how they pick them?
Some of the best.
And that was one
Supposed to
thing
be
that I
some of the
noticed, too.
best.
Like, when it first happened, the first thing that Diddy lawyer gave a statement on, because when he turned himself in, they thought that it was going to be like for questioning. Mm-hmm. And when they charged it, the lawyer said, I can't believe they even charged this case. He said, I don't know what they have going on. He said, I can't believe they charged the case with no evidence. Like, if you look, because like early on, I was real heavy watching it. All of their evidence was McCaskey's lawsuit.
Yeah. And I looked at it like, for one, when they didn't call any witnesses, the defense didn't call any witnesses. I'm like, okay, that's strategic. They're saying, like, this is stupid. We don't even need to bring anybody up. There's no way that you can get 12 people to agree that, this guy was a racketeer. But when it first kicked off, when they first raided his home, and they're bringing out these cases of baby oil, I'm like, all right, Diddy's
did you see that in the flicks, though?
But
like,
look,
man, if you seen the flicks, it wasn't even cases and cases.
It was a couple boxes.
He must have been cheap.
It's great PR for Johnson & Johnson.
Yo,
it is, though. It is.
He had the travel size joints you get from the hotel.
But listen,
he didn't even have the big cases.
I'm sitting there looking at it like, all right, if they're going in this house and they're pulling out baby oil, right. I'm like, Diddy is cooked because he got drugs in the baby oil. They wiping drugs in their system.
Yeah,
it wasn't though. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't.
So that's what pisses me off is people just make shit up. Yeah. That I'm like, where the fuck did you get that from?
Yeah.
But everybody runs with it. So everybody's like, but like drugs in the baby oil, or he was raping kids. Like, there's no evidence that this man did any of these things. Yeah. And people are like, oh my God, how did? And it's like, what are you doing? What are you thinking?
Yeah. So
I ain't gonna lie.
No, I got that because I heard it. I heard it on TV. They're saying he was drugging people through the baby oil or through the drinks at the party.
And honestly, that was gonna be my point. Like, now that we got like the legal jargon out the way.
Yeah.
Like, man, let's talk about how underwhelming this case was, man, compared to how it was supposed to be.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be all these celebrities on tape. Like, man, it was supposed to be him and Carl Winslow, man, and T.D. Jakes and the threesome, all this bullshit. And we ain't get none of this.
But and that's the thing too. Like when it started coming out, everybody is glued to the TV. And we're all reading because, no cameras in the courtroom. So we're all either reading or waiting for people like Safa to tell us what happened in the courtroom. And it was nothing about him and another man.
No.
It was nothing about him and no other celebrities. No. It was none of that.
Yeah.
Everything that we were expecting, it was nothing. It was even the opposite, because the only thing that came out like that was Cassie saying that my husband is not gay. He's not going to touch you, to the other man. And everybody's sitting there waiting for this big bombshell to say Diddy was gay.
Really
he was having sex with this man and this man.
That's what I thought the baby oil was for.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Not the one part, man, but the one part.
You gotta lubricate,
I ain't gonna go like the
I
one
assume,
part.
I don't know.
I can't say that he isn't gay because there's nothing straight about another man's man juice rubbed on your nipples. I didn't know that. I didn't understand the baby batter on the nipples. That's not what I'm thinking.
That was definitely.
I don't do that in my kitchen.
Using that one.
Right.
I don't know how that works.
That was the point where everybody said, "Yeah, Diddy a wild boy. And he is definitely not to be trusted."
Think of me like another thing too. Now, remember, man, when the guy, man, Lil Rod came in with the lawsuit, and he said that he caught him with Meek Mill and all this stuff. Yeah. Amidst all this trial, that lawsuit got dismissed, and Meek made a stat about it. Like a month ago, when he said, Joe, like, y'all ruined my name, and like my son is going to school getting teased and all this, and nobody has nothing to say. So all these claims just got threw out, and like
nobody's going to apologize. They're going to act like, and they're going to still think that that's true, and it's not true.
It's the wildest
and nobody's going to apologize, and even if they did, nobody's going to take it for what it is. Like, it's an apology. I was wrong.
They'll believe anything about you long as it's negative.
That's another question about these. Now he's got a bunch of civil lawsuits. Do you expect a bunch of them to go away now that this verdict came down?
Yeah. I expect that a bunch of them are probably going to go away. Maybe a few. I mean, Cassie's already settled.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many that they still have pending.
I was about to ask.
The civil
how many are
suits.
left,
60.
though?
It's like 60 civil lawsuits.
In the civil world, the burden of proof is lower, so it's
Lower,
based on a
yeah.
preponderance of the evidence
Right.
instead of proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So it's easier to recover, and you know, people. He probably just wants to move on with his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Although on the flip side, he is a fighter, and that's clear from
Yes.
Right.
you know what we got to see within the past
Right.
couple of months. And what people also don't realize is that when people sue civilly and they make these claims or allegations in these civil suits, they're
Right.
protected
Yeah.
to a certain extent.
Right.
Like what you allege in these civil suits in what's supposed to be good faith, you know, is protected. And some of it just may not be true at all. And people are stuck with the public believing that they did X, Y, and Z because somebody said it in a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I
You
think
could be
they'll lose
countersued,
even more
though, with
now,
those,
though.
right? Say again.
Like now, because you think a lot of these lawsuits, man, are bully lawsuits. You don't want this to come out about you, so man, pay me under the table. Now,
Yeah.
my whole life done been put on the table. I don't have nothing to fear from you.
Nothing
So,
to
so if you lying now, man, let's go fight.
Right.
And I still have far more money than you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can be in court all day long. Can you?
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
You know what I'm saying?
Now, can these he can countersue with these civils?
That's
waste of
the
time.
difficult part because there's like, and I actually had to review something like this probably last year, was they're protected. You want to go after them for defaming you, but there's a caveat of the law that protects people when they make these allegations, so you can't go after them because
Oh, wow.
for whatever, I don't
I didn't
know
know
what the intent was when they created that ability, the ability
So
to
I
do
have
that.
a question. So if they say it in the newspaper, you can sue them for it.
Yeah.
But being that they filed it in a legal matter, you can't do anything about it.
So, wait, sorry, repeat the last part.
Like, for example, and the guy in the little rod that said he seen him with Meek Mill and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Being that he put it in a lawsuit,
There's
he's
a
protected.
protection to
But if he
that.
would have said it in the newspaper, he could have
Then
been sued
that's
for
different.
it.
Like
Yeah.
Alright,
So
cool.
now
That's
you
defamation
got
of character.
Thanks for
defamation.
that. Alright,
Yeah.
cool.
Or there's libel and there's slander. So libel is when somebody does a write up about you that's untrue,
Right.
and then slander is spoken. So you know you're publicly saying this person did X, Y, Z. It's not true, and especially when it comes to public figures, they have special protections that maybe
Yeah.
regular people don't have. So
How often do people just lie?
all the time.
Really?
What?
Like who would
Sad,
just
though. That's-
like why would
it's-
you just
It's
lie?
scary. It's scary because somebody can just come up with an allegation against
Wait,
you
Rob,
That
what did you
is
just
and
say,
not doing
Rob?
the whole thing.
How often? I didn't say it doesn't
Remember
happen,
your
but like
last
how
joint, man.
often?
You said, man, why do people lie?
Just like go through the whole process
same
of
answer
filing
Brother Old
something
Man gave
just
me.
to lie.
You know what? Because
Because I'm just an honest
they
person.
want money
Yeah.
and they don't got shit else to do but sit at home and do nothing.
Yeah.
There are people that literally make it their job to find places and people
To
to
sue.
sue. So, you see lawsuits like we found out the Subway footlong wasn't really 12 inches. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
filed
I've
a
seen stuff
lawsuit,
like
they
that. Yeah.
recovered.
my
I know there
gosh.
was another hot coffee case that came out recently last year. I forgot what company it was, but they won and they recovered.
Yeah. I remember Panera got sued for their energy drink.
Yeah, the energy drinks,
got
all
Yo,
kinds of
hit
stuff. And there
big.
are people
Mo.
that literally sit at home and make it their business
Yeah.
this perfume that I bought didn't look like how it looked on the advertisement, and so now
Yeah.
I need to sue.
Yeah. It's
Yo,
crazy
Mo,
shit.
man,
That
but
is
that
weird.
thing with
I
me,
forgot that
Panera,
much time on my hands. I
I
guess
ain't gonna lie.
that's
When I had
why.
that tea one time, yo, it literally had my veins jumping.
Yo,
It
I did
definitely
too.
was something wrong with that.
No, what did I have Panera?
It definitely was something wrong
Yeah,
with that.
it's
It's that supercharged, man. That supercharged.
Yes,
I had
it
at a
was
rope
Panera.
shop.
I took
my
a sip
veins
of
was
it.
literally jumping.
No, mine was from Dunkin' Donuts. Sorry, I don't know if we're supposed to be doing this all, but man, I didn't know it was an energy
about to
drink,
file us
and I got something,
This is
and I
not
took a
slander.
sip of it. I was wired. I was like, my heart started racing. I started sweating. I'm like, yo, this can't be. They can't be serving this shit to people.
Yeah.
But it was
I just
bad.
stick to my coffee.
So is his yeah, I'm a coffee girl. You gotta have espresso. I have to have espresso in my coffee. But is he like, can he rebuild himself, or is it over for him?
I think he can. I think that, you see a lot of people who are on both sides where, some people are really supporters of his, and you see some people that don't like him. I mean, the biggest example of somebody being able to come back and rebuild in this country is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It didn't stop anything for him. You see people that still support R. Kelly. with Mr. Combs, you're going to see that as well. You know, especially as he was found not guilty of the most serious charges. Right. So you have people that still love and support him. I do think that he will be able to build back up. You know, there are people that are still willing to work with him. So I don't think he's going to.
He's in entertainment too. He's going to get.
He's
in
talented.
Front of the camera.
I mean, you really can't deny it, no matter what you think about
somebody
him.
gonna write him a nice song. He's gonna.
And I think though, like somebody on one of these things I was watching, they made a hell of a point. They said outside of like a few people, like 50 Cent, hip hop really didn't turn their back on Diddy.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like it was like a few people, like with the no Diddy thing and all that. But if you look as a whole, most people didn't turn their back on him. And whether it was fear of like, hold on, man, let me wait and see before I start talking, or like I don't really think he did it, and he may still have been connections and whatnot. But if you really look overall, hip hop didn't turn their back on Diddy.
That makes me
Kanye
think
supported him. You know, he was there at the courthouse.
I thought Kanye pulled up. I thought Kanye pulled up because that was the part of the case where they said the girl went and joined somebody else's freak off, and it was him.
Yeah,
he was like, I see what they saying about me.
I think he just honestly, I think he pulled up, man, for publicity. Like once I seen that interview with him in the Black Klan leader.
But look,
outfit,
that was the day after somebody said that Jane had gone with another high profile rapper, flew in his private jet to Vegas and watched his freak off.
Yeah, but the thing is, this like
participated
to an extent because she took her top off, showed her boobs, and was watching somebody else have sex.
Yeah. So now with him, you know, with you saying, you know, hip hop didn't turn their back on Diddy. To me, it was like they didn't turn their back on him. I recognize that too, because now that you see all this Diddy stuff coming out and you saw past videos of Diddy talking about his parties and this person partying with him, and he was in the open with most of it. So I assume a lot of them knew what he was into.
No, remember,
and they knew he wasn't doing nothing wrong though. They you know what I'm saying? So it looked like hip hop knew what Diddy was into, and I've been seeing videos of him at his parties, like saying, all right, time for the kids to go home. It's about to get real. Like this is about to be an adult party. And the people that was involved with the crazy shit, the freak offs and all, was going inside the house and everybody else was staying outside.
Yeah, but
the kids had to leave.
None of the celebrities, like if you listen to like all the celebrities, they all said these are regular parties.
Yeah.
And on those tapes, they verified there were no celebrities. Like old boy man, the Punisher, he wasn't no celebrity. He just come to a late pole and go home. He's not here for any
people
of that.
look forward to Diddy's parties.
Yeah, and these women, these women have freak offs with dozens of men, and none of them named any celebrities. So
and in the pictures that we see too of the parties, like you don't really see anything going on. You see somebody who's probably drunk, maybe a little high, but that's it. Everybody's just partying like anybody else.
Right, and no drugs on the tapes too. When I noticed they said it was no drugs. No celebrities, no violence. They didn't see anybody that was acting in a way where they were coerced to do it.
Right, except for the drugs that he had in the
but if you look,
the Louis bag.
Yeah, but if you look at the drugs they found, they were all in personal use. Like he got caught with like an ounce of weed and like
a couple lines,
like 3.1 grams of cocaine. In a $50 million house. Like that's not nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even like he just a drug addict.
So
but we don't want to take away from the fact that some people are actually emotionally traumatized by some of these whatever Diddy may or may not have done. Right? Like there are celebrities or entertainers that are expressing that they did experience these hard times with Diddy. So we don't want to negate from the fact that some people are emotionally fucked up because of what they experienced with Diddy. But I guess it's proven.
I don't really think that we're
in a sense of
negating
proven
it.
Guilty.
It's just more of a thing like, just because I say it doesn't mean it's true, and it doesn't mean that you have to empathize with me. Because some people could just be flat out lying. And like, so like, man, one thing I noticed is like when these people say, well, man, why now, this and that, well, man, now, man, we come to our senses and all that. And we got to be real, man, at certain times. Like, the elephant in the room is always, it was the money. Like, even with R. Kelly. R. Kelly is not in jail because we developed, man, some social conscience about child abuse and child molestation. R. Kelly is in jail because the money ran out. All of those people stopped being paid. If you look, when his money ran out, that's when he got caught. That's exactly when he got going. And it's the same thing with this. Everybody's driving force is money, and it just shows how far people will go and lower their inhibitions and their morals and their standards in the name of money.
I had a conversation with a female about R. Kelly, a brief conversation. I don't want to talk about who it was and this and that, but I'm like, nah, keep him in jail. To me,
yeah, man, R. Kelly got to stay there
because that's the worst. To me, that's the worst crime.
Yeah, like he needs to be.
Yeah,
be
you touching babies.
Watch.
That's the worst crime you can commit. To me, that's probably worse than killing somebody to me.
And if you really think about man, how crazy we were, man, as a culture. We watched a 27-year-old man forge a marriage certificate to marry a 15-year-old. Yeah. Then he wrote her an album called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Yeah, that's
and
wild.
we bought it and listened to it. Think about how damaged we were as a culture.
Listen, that shit.
We watched him at 30-something piss on a 14-year-old on tape, and we really had people run around saying,
that wasn't him.
But it's still,
man, this 14-year-old man,
still people,
they be looking thick. He didn't know. Like,
but
what are you talking about?
It's still people
like
that's
kids.
saying free R. Kelly. I don't understand that. That shit ain't.
No, because the music.
They're fans, right?
And to her point earlier, to your point, is like, we don't want to miss the mark of victims either. Like people are victimized. We've got child victims, women who are domestic abuse survivors, and men that are domestic abuse survivors too, because oftentimes we forget the men that also go through some of these things at the hands of women. But the level of importance. No, seriously, there's that
I can see somebody popping you because
Rocky is heavy-handed.
I would snatch your lips
You
and
said
twist
that
it.
shit kind of too smooth. You be popping people, don't you?
I would take his lips and just twist it.
See, nah. Please finish that. Please finish your.
No, but so I don't want to say it, but again, just echoing what she's saying is like we don't want to lose sight of victims.
Right.
There is the importance though that if you are having these experiences, having strength in numbers and really telling somebody and not allowing yourself to be placed in certain situations. And people are going to say, well, how do you say that? People don't put themselves in their situations, but we can do a better job at protecting ourselves as women, as people, where there's smoke, there's fire. Half of the time when you get into a situation like that, this person ain't shit. You ain't got no business being with this person, or you think that you're somehow special because, they may have treated that person that way, but they're not going to treat you because you're special. It's not true.
Right.
So I have a question.
I got it. Yeah, go ahead.
So do you believe that when victims wait, like they wait until the statute of limitations is over and things like that, and they go sue instead of seeking justice, do you believe that they do a disservice to other victims when they do that?
Absolutely. And I'm a former domestic violence prosecutor, so I used to prosecute domestic violence cases. And you do a disservice because truthfully, if this person is out here brutally attacking, beating, sexually abusing, all those sorts of things, how many other people become victims because you didn't have the strength to say something, which it is difficult. So I don't want to take that away from anybody, and people, have financial abuse or just truly, honestly scared, but we have to find a way to really overcome certain things and finding your own strength and power because, people get victimized more and more the more you don't say something.
Now, a bit of where the controversy came in to the case and our own controversy about it. The women that were involved, Jane and Cassie, people were on the fence and teetering one way or the other about if they were in it for the money and if they could have left. That whole argument of, she stayed because she was in it for the money, or did she stay because she really loved him? To me, I felt like she was in it for the money. Once the evidence came out of her on the phone with her friend saying, well, who am I going to go to now? Jay-Z is already taken. That right there did it for me. And you always got to be careful of what you say about victims when they are a victim of domestic violence and things like this. But once she said that, to me, the case was over. Like you were implicit. You were in this thing and you were willingly in this because now you're showing me and you're saying it out of your own mouth. I'm here for the money. And whatever I'm participating in, it's not because this man is coercing me or forcing me to do anything. I'm here because I got a chance to be with this mogul, this person with a bank. And if I leave him, Where am I going to go to next with to who?
I think that both can be true. Like
both,
I think
both can be true, but
you can agree to be here for the money, but once I say no, it's still a crime. I'm still a victim.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think, man, so that's what it was. Like, I do think that she was there for the money, but I also think there was times that she simply said no. And once you say no, then you're a victim automatically.
Yeah.
I think that where, man, people can't split it up in their feelings is understanding that two things can be true. Somehow we lost in gray area. Everything isn't black or white. It's gray.
Yeah.
Two things can be true. Like, she's a victim, and she also was there for the money. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't she been granted immunity?
I believe so. I'm not sure. Either she was granted it, or if she wasn't, they just went after him. They didn't go after her, and there were things she was soliciting.
Let me clear that up. What I said when I said, once she made that statement of who I'm going to go to next, Jay-Z is taking, and I said the case is over. The case was over. She's definitely a victim in my eyes. She's definitely a victim.
Right.
But at that point, the case was over. Like you couldn't find him guilty of that.
But
charge
that was her.
because
like Diddy was her livelihood. I can't speak for, but he brought to this lifestyle. He became part of her livelihood.
But
so
okay,
losing
let's dissect that.
and that happens on even on a local level, right?
But dissect
like,
that though.
You have someone that kind of maintains your lifestyle. So when they're gone, it's like you have to start from the ground up, right? And you don't necessarily have your own. So
I don't know
if they walk away.
Yeah.
That's what they always say. Women, get your own shit, right?
Yeah.
Do your own shit, because when something like this happens, when the man chooses to be like, no, I'm not funding your lifestyle anymore. Now you're trying to look for the next, the next.
But if you think about it, Diddy was her support, right? Her support system, whatever, financially and all that. But you're still Cassie. If you left him, if he left and you stopped saying, if you told him I'm done, that's enough. You are still in the industry already. Make a way.
She was trash.
Make your own way.
I ain't gonna lie though, bro. Like,
I know it's hard.
She wasn't good.
She's not talented. I get that.
Right,
She wasn't talented.
We gotta be real. And on top of that, even if she was, like, man, what's the chances of her obtaining the type of money, man,
You're
to
not
get the
gonna.
life that he can?
No, you're not gonna obtain that type of money. But
like,
get out of
you know what
that.
I'm saying?
Is that worth it though? That's what I'm saying. Is it
I mean,
worth
but she
sticking
was
around
out
with
of
this
it
dude
for 5 years before she even brought the case up.
Say it again.
She was out of it. Like her and him hadn't been engagement since 2019.
That's what I'm saying.
So she was out.
Okay.
She was out. It didn't,
So that's saying you could have been out.
Right.
If you were out for 5 years before you got the money from him, before you got the 20 or 30 million, however it was, you were out of it.
Right.
You could have been out of it.
Right.
You could
And the
have
reason
been
that
gone.
I asked her that question was because it was a woman that came out after the lawsuit. Like, she's like a leader in one of these big domestic violence organizations. And she said that women like Cassie are the reason why, man, real victims don't step up. Because she said, you got your money and you got silent. You could have used your platform and your voice to help women who don't have high-priced lawyers to help them bring their voice, who don't have an album out to bring them this visibility to their problem.
Right.
You got the money and you disappeared into the government, made you come out. And she said, the biggest thing here is that if you were not a witness, you would have been a defendant. And I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's when they brought up she was granted immunity.
Yeah. So to me, with that, if that's strong.
Yeah, like when she said that, I'm like, damn.
But even for Cassie, to me, it's like if Cassie, you say you could have used your platform to help others.
Right.
To me, and hearing everything that Cassie went through,
Right.
you got to be more than strong to deal with yourself, your internal shit that you got going on, and then go out there and help others. Because what she went through was crazy.
Right,
if
though,
all
but
that
you got to
shit is
think
serious,
too, Mo.
that's crazy.
In her statements, when she had the suit and whatnot, go read her statements. In her statements, she has like several parts about she is doing this for all the women and girls in the country and around the world that have been abused. And so now, man, she has her voice, but then she got her money and the voice disappeared. That's what the lady was saying. It's fine if you just want to get your money and go, but don't come out and say you doing this for essentially us when you're really doing it for you.
Yeah.
It could just be fair too, right? Like if Diddy has the pull or the reach that, that they allege that he has, then it could just be fair that he can do something to me, or he has that access to do something.
I mean,
to
she already took his money. I mean, so if he want to do something to you,
I-
he's already in and do something to you, Mo, at that point.
Well, I think too there was like conversation between the parties before they settled, because there was something about a book.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yes,
you know,
so
it's
she
kind of,
wouldn't
but again, like what this woman said is like, you know, really advocating for women and girls of victims of domestic violence. You know, you can't wait for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it
Right.
can't be conditioned upon, your advocacy can't be conditioned upon a book deal.
Right.
Or a lawsuit because
Yes.
you
Right.
hope to have some financial gain.
Yeah.
It
Right.
has to be because you went through that, or you know someone that went through that, and you would never want to see anybody go through
Right.
that.
So if you're gonna
Right,
do something like
right.
that, it's in your heart. It's in you. It's
And
not
that's
on
another
you.
thing too. If you think, if he settled when they came to him silently,
Right.
we would have never knew none of this.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's the thing that we have to think about too. Is that if they came on the low, and he gave them that $30 million and didn't call their bluff, we would have never heard about
We
it.
probably would have never heard about it if that dude didn't have an extra copy of that video of him beating her in the whistling, because that's how it all started. Right?
I mean, no one
Now-
started from the suit when the suit was first.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: do you think that it was fair for them to not grant him bail?
Initially, I think that the judge made the right decision. Initially, when he was arrested and the government moved for detention, you know, there was enough evidence. You know, is he a flight risk? Yes. Do I think he was going to flee? No. But the issue became, is he going to tamper with witnesses? And I think there was some evidence that he
Right.
had started doing that. Now, after
yeah.
this, if I was the judge, I would have. And the reason is, and I would have probably split the baby a little bit. I wouldn't have just let him go free. And I don't know if statutorily the judge could have even done it. But, you know, I would have brought him to home incarceration with, you know, submitting to drug and alcohol evaluations once a week, having search conditions so probation can come in and search the property. They wanted him to be able to travel. No, you're staying in New York. So I would have tightened the restrictions on him. Me personally, you know, if I was a judge, I would have tried to do something.
And the reason they said that they didn't grant him bail after the verdict came down is because his defense team had agreed that he was a violent.
Yeah.
You know, So he was a violent criminal, but even though that's not what he was on trial for, they still didn't grant him the.
Right, but the thing I don't get about that is this, man. Because Cassie, I seen her statement. She wrote that for the safety of the people who gave him a testimony against him and whatnot. If you really think, especially at this point,
Right.
if he wants something done,
Right.
my money can work whether I'm in jail or not, and I'm definitely not going to be the one to be pulling up.
Right.
It's like, what does it really matter?
Right.
At the end of the day, he's going to get out.
Right.
He's going to get out at some point
At
in
some
time.
point.
He is not
Exactly.
going to spend the rest of his life in prison.
Exactly.
Right.
So that was already known. The possibility that he would come out was already known. So that's not a surprise to anybody.
Right.
You know.
So basically, if he want to do something to somebody,
Well, and
That's
he's
what I'm
still got
saying.
so much to lose. The judge can give him 10 years. You
Right.
think he's really about to do some stupid shit and
Right.
like
And
risk that?
having to go to jail for 10
You know,
years,
like, this ain't
he
like
can give
the
him
mob,
20
like I
years,
said.
right? He can give him 20.
If
he
the
ain't about to
charges
do
were
it.
to run
So-
consecutive back to back, then in
Yeah,
theory,
but he's
yeah.
not about to risk that. Like
Exactly.
he's not going to be like the mob and leave him like a goat head in your bed or some shit to like let you know he's after you.
Right. I do have to check. Do you have to leave?
Let me just check. Really quick.
If you do, we definitely appreciate the wisdom.
I should be fine. I should be good at least until 6:30.
Okay.
All right. Is that
That's
okay?
cool. Yeah. So this whole thing, I just wanted to check. I know we're
Oh, no,
rolling
I
and all that,
appreciate
but
it.
still, you know,
They're delayed, so I'm
yeah.
good.
So he didn't get granted bail. But he's gonna get out.
Yeah.
He's gonna get out sooner or later, and we've already touched on if we think he's gonna make a comeback.
Yes.
My thing is, they weren't able to seize any of his assets because he didn't get found in the racketeering
Right.
charges and all that stuff. Do we now the whole thing with the kids, right? The kids were in the courtroom. That was a big thing for me because he got daughters, and they had to hear and listen to all this stuff. Now, for you
they
as a
stop coming?
defense, they didn't come to
stop
everyone.
coming, right? Yeah.
They stopped for a little bit, but then they
Yeah.
started coming back.
So, as a defense attorney, an entertainment attorney, is that strategy? Is that strategic?
Absolutely.
And can you explain that
You
to
little
us?
sneaky little.
Absolutely.
She like,
I want your grandma, your baby mom, your daughters, your sons. I want your family there. But the reason is because, and I tell my clients this all the time, do you have family? I want them in that courtroom. Because the jurors that are sitting, those 12 people, they need to see families. That you have a family.
Yeah.
And jurors look at that. They pay attention, and I want your family, looking well put together. You're responsible, don't be huffing and puffing because you hear something you don't like.
Right.
And, it's a double-edged sword because in Diddy's case, his daughters were there and these allegations were horrific. And he has to deal with the damage done mentally to what those children have heard, or the young people. They're not kids. Yeah. But what they've heard. Yeah. So that, can to some extent be punishment enough, at least in that particular area. But, it's definitely, you want your family, you want your supporters there, and they should be there. If you believe in your father, if you believe in your son or brother, cousin, you should be there to support them because the government's got a bunch of people there supporting them.
Right. And it's like, I was paying attention to it, and like they were in the courtroom when they started talking about him indulging in the men. What you call it, baby batters? They were in the courtroom that day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's crazy for him. Now he got to go home. When he gets out, he's gonna have to go home and look his kids in the eye when they know my dad was doing all that crazy shit with men's. Oh, come on, that's crazy to me. I mean, like that's probably. Somebody did ask too. Do you think Diddy's embarrassed? Do you think he's embarrassed, or do you think he's like
arrogant?
He's embarrassed, but that embarrassment does not outweigh his want and need to be free. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what the fuck
that's
you heard
exactly
about me.
Right.
When this is my life and I'm the one that's got to spend the rest of it in prison, bitch.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever you heard about me, because he can. I mean, he can pick up and go move to Tulum, and
I don't know. I don't know Diddy personally. We don't have any friends in common, but I don't feel him being embarrassed.
Me either.
I feel like he's just like, I did it, and I'll do it again.
People do freaky shit. It's not illegal to be a freak.
But ain't no way you're not embarrassed.
The Diddy that I know that was at that money, like he is that Diddy ain't gonna be embarrassed.
Okay, but honestly, like, man, but even that Diddy though,
I feel like he knew it was gonna, like, I feel like he's a man that probably stands on what he does. Like, I did it, and I had fun doing it, and
we prepare our clients. Like, listen, this is what they found. I always tell my clients, this is what they're going to say. They're going to say you did this, and this, that you like come on your nipples, whatever. And I love it. Sorry. No, but seriously, like, we have these conversations because I don't want
no bombshells.
I need to prepare. My job is to protect you.
Yes.
I don't care what it looks like to anybody else. My obligation is to you and to be prepared for the things that we might hear. This is coming out. This is what they're going to bring about. Yeah. Sit with it, process it, and we're going to keep going, and we're going to keep fighting and move on.
I would have wanted my lawyer to tell me that, and then be like, okay, if you telling me they about to talk about, I ain't about to say my name in that same sentence, but if you telling your client that they're going to talk about you rubbing some other man's cum on your nipples, all right, you telling me that this going to happen today? All right, I'm going to tell my family not to come.
Right, I don't want and things like that.
Yeah. Like, don't come today. No pun intended. But don't be here today.
Come, but don't come.
Don't be here.
You don't need both.
Don't be here today.
But like, but I think what it is though, like, my thing is, I'm wondering, like, man, does he come out and lean into it? Like, example, like, man, the sex industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. He might lean into it and, like, man, come out, like, with his own nipple lube. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, come out with, like, nipple lube. So you ain't got to use another man baby batter. Yeah, man. It's already been pre-mixed baby batter.
Like, he's a businessman.
There's no way. And those businesses know that's going to...
Because I'm going to be real with you, bro.
Astroglide should definitely jump on.
That's exactly what my shop was about to change into. Like, we were going to change Cloud9 into an erotic sex shop. Yeah. Like we see, like the profit margins are crazy, and that stuff
Imagine
sells.
buying a rose from Brandon.
And on top of that, and on top of that,
this ain't for me.
Like, though, because the thing is, because we thought it like this, like, think about it. All of the erotic stores are not within city limits.
Right.
To have one within city limits and then in the South Wedge, it made so much sense. But our only hardship was, like Rocky said, like you likely to see me in the bar. You don't want to be like, oh, I just bought some booty oil from the
At the bar.
from this guy that's looking across from me at the bar. So you go.
Why you not calling him a freak? I say my love language is physical touch. You jump down my back like I'm a freak.
No, because you be saying it out of nowhere though. We could be
Simple.
talking
No,
about.
hold on,
We could be talking about sneakers.
different.
This is on topic. This is on topic.
I said my love language was physical touch.
This is about
and she called me a freak.
He said he wanted to. We can fuck the slaves. No, this is the thing.
But see,
your commentary about sex is so off, off. So
see, man, you came out the cut.
We're talking about.
See, I'm saying them in the terms of the commerce.
Can we?
Because it's not about me. Hold on,
okay, go ahead.
All I'm saying is this: my things come in the sense of commerce. I own the smoke shop and I don't smoke, so of course I can own a sex shop and not be a freak. I'm just breaking down. You been giving the people what they want. You said some stuff like, "What happened if you was there on Juneteenth? I'm gonna get me some ass."
I did not say that.
You got it.
So let's brief her on let's brief her on what the conversation was.
Like, it's okay.
I asked the question. I said, "Is June 19th in 1865? You just were told that you're free. What's the first thing you're doing?" All I said was, you know that the women in the house, the white women, been looking at them black men, and now they're free. They can go in and indulge with each other. That's all I said. They called me
about
free.
you getting free.
I didn't say nothing about
you. Said I'm gonna go in the house and get free.
No, I said I'm going in there. I said I'm going in there and whooping ass with you.
You got America's first freak off. That's what you want to be.
So
you want to be the George.
That's why they call
moments in Black history.
You want to be the George Washington the freak off. She wants to be first.
I said, you know them white women. That's probably where it came from. That's probably why white women love black men. But anyways.
Oh, that's a fact.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
They were indulging.
And they try to call me come on.
The men,
that's not fair.
the slave masters were indulging in the women. I'm pretty sure the women were having a good old time with the men. Wow, look at that thing on him.
How do we go
look at that thing on Kinte?
How do we
go? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder what that feels like. What of course.
How do we go from there to there? Let's get back.
I know my ancestors probably did because look what I'm talking about. Like, wow.
All right. So,
Robert doesn't have that.
No.
Harriet Tubman
Robert,
did not
why
die for
isn't
you
yours
to
like that,
Robert?
How did we get Roberts like that? How much blood needs to rush down?
See, I've been off the topic. You still going?
I'm sorry. I just kept going.
You gonna call me
I felt somebody here saying, "Get him, get him." So I kept going.
Yo, so that's So I can't. I got to change my love language now.
Yeah.
To gifting or whatever the other ones are, because I can't
Gifting
have
a
physical
freak
touch.
off.
And I even explained it. I'm like, mine is physical touch because I was an athlete. I needed to be rubbed down sometimes, and she took it a whole other way.
No, I did not.
And tried to call me a freak.
No,
that's crazy.
Why are you
that's
so
not,
sad?
That's not fair.
Enthusiasm,
Why are you
because this dude just said he about to turn his smoke shop into a sex shop.
Absolutely.
And he don't get ran down on.
Because it's in commerce.
It's fair. You ain't gotta be fair.
It's in the business of commerce.
Nah, I respect that though, because that's just smart. It's just smart. Oh, you getting passed because he's dark skinned? I get it.
He was in the field with me.
So now with the he was in the
brought
what?
it back to this.
She said in the field.
Oh
okay,
wow.
I'm done. I brought it back to the.
See, y'all out of control. But anyways, so I did have. It was another case that I wanted to ask about. What's the other case that's out right now? It was if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't the guy that pled guilty to the 4 murders, because that's crazy in itself. Now let's touch on that just a little bit since we got you here. They hadn't gone to trial yet or nothing like that.
No, I think that's the Kohlberger case.
Yes.
Or Kohlberg, Idaho student. He went into their apartment and killed them, 2 girls, 2 boys. But no, they were headed to trial, and he pled out before trial.
This happened a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he pled out. This is what I wanted to say about that.
Okay.
He pled out because they offered him to not kill him, no death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I'm like,
wait, how did he
kill
kill
4 people? He stabbed them up.
I thought
brutally stabbed them up.
Yeah.
So you kill these people like that, and then you cower out of dying.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me. That shouldn't even be allowed. They should have made his ass go to trial, and face what he had to face. But that was crazy. But let's move we can move on to. She got about 7 more minutes with us, so we're gonna take advantage of it. A new topic. Jumping over into what we were discussing last week. You said we was gonna go back to discuss this week.
What was it?
I thought it was the trial.
No,
what was it?
No.
Something else?
It was y'all was going back and forth with each other.
What?
Wait, with me and her?
Booty?
Yeah.
No.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, the
Stop.
camera guy is like signing to me.
Stop.
What is it? But
That's
being
it. There you go.
popular.
Okay,
Yes.
I was saying, we weren't going back and forth.
Yes.
I was winning, she was losing. That wasn't back and forth. that
Thanks
was
to
a
our
lesson in
producers.
winning versus
Appreciate
Thank you,
lesson in
thank you,
losing.
producer.
There's a
Being
difference.
popular. I wanted to talk about that because I know Brandon and I shared the same.
yeah,
We may not argue today because we actually share the same viewpoint when it comes to this. God damn, you sure you
don't
talk about it? We're not gonna
argue,
argue.
I just teach you stuff.
But this whole thing about supporting popularity, right? In the town, people only support the popular people.
Oh, yeah, that right,
Right? And how I despise that argument because to me it kind of basically says like if you're popular, that means you're not good at what you do, right?
Yeah.
When being good at what you do is what made you popular, right? So instead of you just putting yourself out there more, branding yourself better, getting people putting yourself in people's faces and putting your brand in
Right.
people's faces,
Right.
you argue that you're not
Right.
getting the support because you're not popular. And I
Right.
have a problem with that argument.
Popular.
I agree with you. Like I agree with you too because I just think it's a big accountability issue that's behind it. You know what I'm saying? And like so, these same folks will tell you, well, man, people only support you if you're popular while wearing a pair of Jordans while holding an iPhone. The most popular sneakers and you're on the most popular social media platform.
Right.
The point is to get popular. There's no such thing as a successful product that isn't popular. That's why it's successful,
Right.
because it's popular. What it is that when people have poor business principles. They don't do things, and we have things within our culture that strap us back that we think are cool. You never hear another culture say, no new friends, got it out the mud by myself. They understand, they understand the power of networking. Those are not even principles that enter their thought process when they do business.
Yes.
What I've learned as being an entrepreneur is that a lot of us, we have poor business principles. But instead of saying like, damn it, let me step my business principles up, I'm going to go blame, well, this guy is more popular than me. No,
Right.
this guy may be more well-researched and more well-versed than you.
Right.
Prime example, a lot of things we don't do, we don't market research. Market research is important.
Yep.
You can't just put something somewhere.
You're right.
There are only two kinds of people that are allowed to do that. Hairstylists and barbers, because their customers will follow them
Gonna
wherever
come
they
to
are.
where you are.
It doesn't matter where they are. If you are retail, it matters. Your family, your friends will not keep your doors open. You have to have walk-in traffic.
Right.
And you can't put something somewhere where nobody walks and then say people won't come to you.
Right.
Any major brand that you get that comes, Chick-fil-A came here within the past few years. 3 years before they got here, Chick-fil-A sent out, like anybody else, years before they get here, they search the market. They see what people buy,
course.
how they buy it, where to put it to maximize opportunity for visibility. There's a reason why your Chick-fil-A's are exactly where all the other fast food spots are, are where the malls are, and we don't do that.
That comes from a lack of education, a lack of understanding, and taking the time to learn about business, having
and
a
you
business
have
sense.
to know that, like
Right.
before, I opened my smoke shops. First thing I did off rip, I go in that neighborhood and I just walk around and ask, what do you smoke? What do you smoke out of? What would you like to see in the smoke shop? So now when I open up, I know I'm gonna boom my first day because all I did was go get you what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna make sure I got it at a better price. My last shop was literally next door to a store that sold everything I had.
Right.
I just undercut them.
Right.
I undercut them
Right.
and then had things that they didn't have. And it works. It works, but people don't do that. They'll rather say, Mo only got this because he in the Section 5 Hall of Fame.
No. I'm gonna touch on it in a minute when you finish.
Yeah. So it's like when you hear that, like when I opened my first store, I had 300 Facebook friends. Because I really didn't care for people. But immediately you realize, like, nah, all that guarded shit. No,
That doesn't
you
work.
have to, like, when people say, I don't kiss ass, you have to kiss ass.
Yes.
Right.
Wegmans kisses your ass.
Yes.
Right.
Apple kisses your ass. Like, when you get a little bit of war in your phone and they really should void it, but they give you a new phone,
Yes.
that's Apple kissing your ass. Because they don't mind that because you're going to come back over for iPhone 16, 17,
and people don't understand
18,
that. That's
215.
That's what
And
people
don't get that.
People don't realize it. In my case, it was a little different because I did have the popularity before I started my business and training kids. And to me, it wasn't even really a business. It wasn't like I was looking to start a business. The business came to me. I had a bunch of people that, and it basically fell into place. It was a bunch of people that grew up with me, watched me play football all my life, right? And now when I retired, they all had kids. Right. Like, Mo, train my kid. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I need to start thinking about making this happen. So it happened, right? So I jumped out there and I was successful immediately, right? Boom, right. Now, years pass and there's other people trying to come into the same arena that I'm in, right? In my space, right? And train kids. So I'm like, all right, it's enough out here for everybody to eat. And I was on my way backing up from it, because I was getting burned out. I was done with the game like that, right? So I'm telling these dudes, like, listen, before you think that you're going to have the success that I had off the bat because you didn't do what I did in the game. It's a popularity thing at this point. You didn't do what I did, so people don't know you like they knew me. Right. And I'm not talking like in any kind of sense of arrogance like we talked about, right? Mm-hmm. But it happened for me the way it happened because I'm from Rochester. I went to Syracuse and played football. And then from Syracuse, I went down I-90 the other way to the Bills. Right. So everybody that was around here had followed me from here to Syracuse to Rochester. They didn't have to go far to Buffalo, right? It didn't have to go far.
You was your own spokesperson.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So when I started my business and kicked off and other people thought that they could do it too, I said, listen, man, it's tough. I wouldn't suggest you do it that way. And I even told a few dudes, come in under me, come in and train my kids for me. And the way this works is you're going to have these parents watching you and hearing you coach and teach. Yeah. That's when you're going to get them. That's when I'll let you branch off and do your thing. They didn't take my advice and it fizzled out immediately. So I'm like, you sometimes popularity works in certain fields, but popularity is, I still built that from
being good,
being here
at what you
and doing what I was doing.
And
exactly.
It works,
exactly.
So and it works, man, because if you look at say like a company, what do? We know damn well, man, LeBron don't drive a Kia. But they pay him millions of dollars every year
to go in there
to have a Kia. We know Michael Jordan don't wear cheap ass.
He might have a Kia.
Exactly.
Tim Duncan had a
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, man, we know Michael Jordan don't wear Hanes drawers, but they pay him. Right. We know Tiger Woods don't drive a Buick, but they pay him to do it. So when they be like popularity, you're supposed to do that. If you start something, if I start doing hair, I'm going to get the most popular person. Right. If I start doing them mohawks, I'm going to get Rocky.
Right.
I'm going to get Rocky. I'm going to get one free
mohawk. How he just slid that there. I was like, right.
But it makes sense. It makes sense, man. People don't get that. You're supposed to grab the most popular person possible.
Exactly.
That's just business 101. Yeah. But I will say this: I'm not even from Rochester. I'm not from here, okay? I'm from a small island in the Caribbean, from the U.S. Virgin Islands. The island has 50,000 people on it. I'm not from here, okay? And I came here, and I found what I was good at, right? And guess what? And that gained respect, which gained popularity. I'm not from here. So that popularity shit don't work for me. There's people, I didn't go to school here. I came here in 2005, right? But the fact that I'm actually good at what I do, I would say that, right? That's how I became popular. People are not, especially in this town. We always say that Rochester. If you can make it in Rochester, you can make it anywhere. Right. Because this town, they'll rip you a new one if you're not good at what you do. Like, oh, this bitch thinks she ain't.
No, you get to say that though. So, you get to say you're good because you're actually good. You're like.
And that's the thing. And that's
nobody
what made
can say
me,
Rocky is not good at what she does.
That's what made me well known is because I'm actually good, and I had to put that time in to become good. And because I became good, I'm not the best, but I'm pretty good at what I do. Then my popularity grew because people started to seek me, like, oh, we want her, and they put me in front of a more broader and broader audiences, right? And that's what happens when you're good. So you have to perfect your craft. Like, I started from the mud, and I went to school, want to perfect my craft so I could become good, so I could become popular, so I could don't be popular for free. You know what I'm saying? So now you capitalize off of that, and that's the next step. A lot of people would say like, oh, a lot of people don't be popular for free. And a lot of people would say like, oh, because she's on the radio, da da da. I'm on the radio because they saw that I was good. They saw potential in my ability. Like it has nothing to do with, oh, she on a radio because of this. Some people probably just get that platform because of whatever. But I actually put in the work, right? And what's real is going to stay put.
Right.
I'm still here, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I put in that work to become good, to become popular, so I can capitalize off of that.
Right.
So I hate to see it because I came from this small little ass island, right? Came here for college. They know a motherfucking body, right? And I mastered my craft so I can become this person. So put that work in.
Yeah.
Stop being fucking
You got ahead
lazy.
of
Stop
that.
blaming
You did it,
people
man. You
for
did
your
it.
shit.
You did
Put
it.
that
You
work
did
in.
it. You did it.
So you can't come to me
it.
with that because I'm like, bro, I ain't even from here. I didn't go to I probably would have gone to like, Bishop Kearney or something. Because,
Here you
but
go.
no, like put that work in. That's why I hate to hear this whole popularity argument because.
But even putting the work in, you got to, like you said, when you first started, you got to find what you're good at.
Find what you're
what
good.
you have a passion
y'all
for.
Everybody in the whole, everybody want to be in everybody's lane. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. Touch and go. I touched and go. Like, oh, this ain't for me. I'm gonna keep it moving. Oh, this ain't for me. I'm gonna keep it moving till I found what I was good at, and then I stayed there and I perfected that. Right. So now I could capitalize off of that. I'm not trying to be in everybody else's lane. Just trying to make money. Just trying to be known. No, that's why you gotta stay there and master something, and then you like, okay, I did good here.
Right.
Let me do something that builds off of that. I'm not now gonna go become a freaking athlete.
Yeah, man,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do that.
That's an accountability
I'm
conversation you
staying in
gotta
my
have with
lane.
yourself.
Put it in
I'm staying
simpler
in my
terms.
lane.
Simpler term, but not simple. For defense and entertainment attorneys, you don't become popular until you have those cases that put you out there. Like once you win your big one, then the other entertainers that do stupid shit, they're gonna come and look
Brian
for you.
Steele is like lawyer Jesus right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, he's the man.
So for him,
Steele is the
he
man
had
right
to
now.
earn his way, work his way to that status, to that popularity. For when somebody goes and do some shit, then they're gonna say, "Oh shit, you better call Brian Steele."
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying?
it's even whether it's a local level or like national or whatever you're in is like, your work is your resume.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
moment for us,
Yes.
like, oh, you lose a case. Oh, you don't want to call her. You don't want to call him.
Yes.
So the importance of just really doing good work and exactly
Yes.
what you said is like finding where you fit. Like,
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad
it's
you
not
just said
for
that.
everybody, and you have to be able to just really know yourself and know where you fit in. And it's
Yes.
not. I can't do what she does.
Right.
And that's okay.
You probably
and
do.
vice versa, or what you do, or what you, and we all just have our special place. We should still be able to support one another
Yes.
in those
That's what we
spaces,
do.
Right.
Yes.
and just keep working at it and putting your best foot forward at all times, and especially too, like you deal with whether it's local or just people who can go to prison for a long time, or celebrities who, their life is on the public platform.
Right, man. So does that cause you to be very much selective in which case you take? Like if you like, wait a minute, I might lose this, and I don't need my record blemish.
No.
Oh, okay.
So I'm selective in the cases that I take because the clients that I decide to take, we have to be a good fit.
Right.
First and foremost, I don't take every case. It is what it is, and I'm not for everybody either. So that's okay too. But when people come to me with a problem, I believe in my client, my person, and we often become family-like because I'm not just your lawyer. I'm the closest person to you right now, between you and spending the rest of your life in jail. I don't care about your mom, your baby mom, whatever, your best friends or whoever may be. And I respect them, but this is about you and your life.
Yeah.
Right.
So however you need me to operate for you and also do a good job, or now we're working on this deal and protecting you and protecting your, your assets, your name, your brand. Like we just need to be able to do that in the right way. And, could I take more cases? Absolutely. But I choose not to because I'm selective about who I pick. But everybody that I pick, I believe in what you do, and I believe in your craft, or I believe in defending you.
Yeah.
So that kind of, you said something in there that made me think about when you, and Rocky said it too, find what you're good at and then go with it. But you also have to do, and be kind of hit on it too. You also got to do your research on what's going to make you successful, right? You talked about the popularity thing. You could throw the popularity thing out the window, because you got to do the work.
Yes.
But you also got to be somewhat crafty on how the work is done and where you fit in and stuff like that. Taking it back to me, when I started training, I did my market research. And I said, and for me it's a little different, because I was like, okay, there's people training kids with football, but if I come into this lane, then there's going to those people that are paying their money, they're going to do their research and figure out where they want to spend their money. And you know, if they look me up and they look you up, we know who they're going to choose.
Right.
So I'm like, but I'm also smart enough to say there's a few of us doing the same thing. The amount of the pool that we have to choose from is not big enough for where I need to go to make a living doing this. So I kind of found my niche, and I said, I'm not just going to train kids in football because there's 3 or 4 of us training kids in football. Yeah. But I know that I did something that nobody has done here. So I'm going to go out there and say my thing is a speed school, right? Because everybody knows me from speed, from being fast. No, so I'm not going to just do football. I'm going to do football and speed training. See what I'm saying? Fast and be fast. Get it? Football and speed training. She always messing with me about my license plate.
His license plate.
But
like, look at me.
But you have to. but just put it in context. You have to find what you're doing. But I tell people, you literally have to sit down, go to a table, carve out 2 hours or more, and really write down what you want to get out of this. What's the best plan for you? The market research. Do all that and then see if it's smart for you to do this. Because if you don't do it that way, you're gonna jump out there and it's gonna be a dud and you're gonna miss.
It requires accountability though. See, like you are accountable.
Right.
Like for all the things that I've done or sold, it's a bunch of shit I done came up with that was terrible ideas. Like,
yeah.
People are not about to buy this shit.
For sure.
Like, but do you know how many pipes or bongs I put in Cloud9 that didn't sell and giving away? Ironically, the highest selling one, man, was the man bong. You know, like, and more men bought those than women. And like, dudes, like, oh, son, what type of shit is this you got in here?
Wait, time out. Men bought the, what is the man bong?
Okay, man, so be clear, man, so I can put it in plain language.
Yeah, because we just finished talking about Diddy. And you talking about a man bong.
More men penis bongs than women.
No way.
And we had literally of all bongs, that had to be the highest selling bong.
Wait.
Bong. And to be specific, man, because they came in black and they came in white.
They're buying them for women though.
The black penis bong sold more than any bong ever.
Why are men buying them more than women?
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
I don't care.
That's a fact.
Because like it's not like one of those things where like it's not bought me with different money. So I don't, you know what I'm saying, man? I don't really care.
That's wild.
But like, and and it's weird because like people be like, well, how does the sale go? They say, let me see that one right there. I say, which one? They say, that one. I say, the black one? They be like, yeah. They be like, how much? That's $28. What's that? I'm gonna hand you the heat.
The fact that he's saying this like it's so normal, like, it's killing me.
Because it is to me. Because for me, I'm just selling you a product.
Tilted his hat up.
You know what I'm saying, man? So it's those things like man, it's all types of stuff. Like women. Example, women used to come by me in the pussycat pills all the time.
Pussycat pills.
Yes, they give y'all like an oil change.
This is why you wanted a sex shop. It makes sense to me. Right, so what is the pussycat pills?
Basically, it's a
pill. Said it's like you're giving yourself an oil change.
Yeah, they give y'all an oil change. Like it get y'all spark plug, sparking a little spark here.
Yo, I don't like how you talk about our private parts. Because the coo and the chi, now the spark.
That was wild. That was wild.
Wait, so the pussy, what is it called? The pussy pills?
No, come on, Rocky.
Pussycat pills. They call them Pinkman pussycat pills. And like no lie, like the women used to buy those. You know, somebody to get them together. Because one thing that's big that people love to talk about, like the men buy the honey, women used to buy the pussycat pills just as much. Because women used to buy,
Oh, so it's like an aphrodisiac?
I know my man is using this honey on me. Ain't no way he lasting this long. So I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta go get my thing working.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I have to equip myself for the higher endurance, what they call it, oil viscosity. You know what I'm saying? So that's where they come with that.
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know how we got here, but it's good stuff, though. It's good stuff. We learning.
But I'm telling you, but that's how you service it, man. So like, even like I remember when I had the craft beer store.
Yep.
You just have to sell a product.
Yeah.
And like, man, people when they come in there, I hadn't drunk beer in my life.
Right.
So they're like, man, what about this beer here? it's the summer, I'll be like, well, man, that's an Austrian lager. And in summer in Austria, the hops are hoppier. So, you get like a more crispy.
I remember you telling me that.
I don't know.
I remember I came into your store and you was telling me that.
And I was telling dude, man, I'm selling beers at that point. One beer was $12. Like that beer that I remember saying about
it was keeping the store open. That's what you was telling me.
And it's all over, man. So like when a woman come and she like, man, what those sell? Be like, like you want to get more into the mood? She like, well, I'm already good, but I'm like, do you want to get gooder? You know what I'm saying? Man, you got to make her feel comfortable with doing that.
I love it.
And no man, like it's women too, fellas. Y'all may not know this. Women used to buy cases of honey because women used to sneak honey in their dudes' food. Like they know, like you know what I'm saying.
That's why.
Like if you ain't got enough
I can see that.
It's like, bro, if you ain't got enough Pullman for their soul, they gonna help you out. They love you. They gonna
what?
You know what I'm saying? Throw some additives in there and get you going.
They putting honey on rice.
No, bro, like they throw honey in your tea, all that. Yeah, so it's those things. So
it makes sense though.
And that's what started making us realize, like, we selling like 7 different kinds of sexual stimulants, like water, like the jellies. That's the thing that's going now.
I ain't never heard of that.
We literally were the first black store selling them in the jellies. And basically, like the jelly is a packet, you snap it, and it's like a cream, like it's flavored or whatever, and you take it, and it lasts for 36 hours. So now, you know what I'm saying? So the women is finding out about jelly, so they coming to get the jelly too.
Wow.
And they don't need peanut butter for it, just straight jelly. They don't get straight jelly. They gonna get you together, and that's your after school snack. I'm just saying. So like that's when we realized, like, we can do all this, and then like we had chicks like, can you get roses and da da da. So then I started doing the research on roses. I'm looking at the profit margins. I'm like, we can flip this whole shop. Mm-hmm. Then unfortunately events happened, but it was a perfect plan.
Yeah.
The world buys sex, bro.
Makes
like
sense.
The world
Makes
buys
sense.
sex.
Yep.
She's looking at me so
sense.
like. She looking at me like
he owned
I did not know this world existed.
He owned the smoke shop. He was about to turn it over, and he learned a bunch about the
department. She's like, wait a minute, hold on.
Now this is all stuff that Diddy would have benefited from if he would have.
Nah, man, listen, man. Yeah.
Who were you for Halloween again?
So it all tie in together.
Who were you for Halloween?
I was Diddy for Halloween.
No way.
I didn't want him to say that.
No way.
He was Diddy for Halloween.
Wow. Yo, man, but this was before all the details of the case
That's what I was about to say.
I got the baby
never.
the deli on. It was funny. It was funny for them. But
gosh.
But that'd be like one of the biggest things. You gotta tune in, man, to what people like. And when we fully flipped it though, we were not going to be in the shop. Like we had a staff vision in mind, and we were never going to be there. Because like you said, like you laugh, but like if we're in the social media community, nobody wants to be sitting across from the guy like, I just bought a butt plug from him. Like I know, like he knows my business type thing. So I don't want you to buy it from me.
Yeah.
I don't want you to know you bought it from me.
Yeah. Right.
But like I said, like with stimulants, that's one thing that people used to be ashamed of. Mm-hmm. Now, man, people will walk up to the counter with their hand held high. Even old people. Older, like senior citizens, he be like, it's Friday, about to get my thing on.
I would have laughed. I'll be laughing too hard.
You are perfect for this industry because you were thinking with a straight face. But I'd have been like, wow.
No, because once you tap in, man, to what people want, you realize there's nothing weird about it. Like, bro, if you want to buy 10 dick bones, go ahead. My only concern is having 11 dick bones so I can still have one left on the shelf after you bought the 10. So I can have one to sell somebody. I don't care. In fact,
where all this ties in at is
my last order, my man C-Make can verify. The last order I had at that shop, somebody ordered 16 dick bones.
They had to be having a party or something that they was giving
laughing.
away as table. What's the things they called on the table? The things that you put on each table? Centerpieces. They had to be doing a party for
because
that.
the bong is exactly how you picture it. You put the marijuana in the nuts and then they suck and blow out the tip. I'm telling you, bro. But what I'm telling you is that, but you just find what people want. And that's the thing about market research. You find what people want, and it doesn't matter what it is because you have to realize you are not selling stuff to you or for you. You're selling it to people. Right. And when you own anything, you are a public servant above anything else. So again,
I got to point out, our producer over there dying. He about to die. I'm just
saying.
Turn the camera on him. He died.
I think it's just the seriousness of it all.
I'm saying, like, I got video.
When you talk about, see, this is all stuff that this Diddy conversation brought up. This is wild. It's wild to me. But to tie all this into what we're talking about, the popularity thing, People weren't going to Brandon's store to be store because he was popular. They went in there because he knew what to do with his market, with his popularity, and he was providing a service and he was providing material. Rocky, her popularity did not start from when she just jumped out on the stage and said, "Ooh, I'm popular."
Yeah, man.
She had to.
The irony is like being popular comes with its disadvantages. People don't wake up like I want to be popular.
Ask me how
it comes with disadvantages. Everything you do is magnified, even on a
that's
smaller level.
Right? She only got that.
So
man.
listen,
she let him rub stuff on her chest.
That's gonna be that's gonna be our topic for next episode though, because the disadvantages of being popular is a real thing. It's a real serious thing.
Yeah, because good thing I'm not popular. I'm just shy.
And I'm not. I don't. Everybody that knows me know I don't talk about myself with sports and all that kind of shit. But I've found myself saying to myself many times,
right.
I wish I was a regular dude.
Yeah.
I wish I never did this. I wish I never did that. And it's serious because if you don't get control of it, it'll eat you up.
Yeah, man. Like I never think that. I think, damn, I wish I had more.
I think, yeah, like
maybe if I had more, I would have sold more. Only type of shit.
Oh my God!
I just need more stuff to sell, y'all.
I think we need to set the sun right now because
the sun definitely needs to set.
So Safa,
thank you so much.
Now, are you in a space to where you want people to know how to contact you? So we can.
I don't mind.
That's a black way of saying
like.
But do you want people to look you up and stuff like that?
All
right, you ain't gonna miss her. Her name is unique. Safa, Safa.
Yes.
Right. I did that.
Safa,
Safa.
Congratulations to your dad, right, on his retirement.
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations
her dad.
on Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Oh, Moses, her dad.
Moses.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Mr. Robinson, everybody's favorite cop. Exactly. In Rochester. Congratulations again, man, and enjoy life to the fullest. We appreciate everything you've done, and everybody that's come up in Rochester knows, and he's touched your heart in some way. I remember him as just in the area. First of all, it was different to see a black cop like he was interacting with everybody. And that kind of helped out our generation even more than he might even know.
Yeah, because it just showed that like not all cops are bad. Like,
exactly.
There can actually be community policing because we have a cop that's policing the community while also not alienating and victimizing the community. Right. So that definitely
and to
resonated.
Me it's like you first from what I remember, I always saw him by himself, and he always had a smile on his face. Yeah, always. And that was big for us as kids coming up. And then when I left to college and playing and came back, he was still doing it. I'm like, oh shit, this dude like fucking Superman. He got the fountain of youth, and he's still looking good and all that. So it was like, so congrats, man. You did it the right way. We appreciate that for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, Safa, for joining us.
Yes, we appreciate you so much for coming through. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for saving us from.
You are always welcome. If some other crazy celebrity get into some shit that we don't understand,
I know I'm gonna have to use
everything.
We
either try to get you back here if we ain't scare you off, or we're gonna FaceTime you.
I found a bong and I fucked up.
Keep me in your back pocket.
Right. But again, we appreciate you to the fullest. Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate it.
And Rocky will take us out of here.
That's a wrap for Everything Under the Sun podcast. The sun is now set.